Welcome back to my playthrough of Hexen Beyond Heretic as the Cleric on the Pope difficulty. Today we are starting with the first real hub of the game, 7 portals, so let's go. So, after that introduction to Corax, we now have to go down this lift. And sometimes it takes a while for it to go down, so yeah. As you can see, there are quite a few Etten here, so let's grab these flechettes and probably make use of them in a little bit. You can also make use of that mace too, to soften them up, if you don't feel that the flechettes aren't softening them up already. Let's try baiting them into the cloud, if just to get them a little scuffed up. Let's beat the rest to death. There are a few crystal vials here too, if you take any damage from these guys. There's actually quite a few of these crystal vials here, so don't be hesitant to take them. Also, don't be hesitant to take the 3 quartz flasks that drop when you flip that switch. Also, yeah, this is a Chaos Serpent. You might remember him from Heretic. Yeah, he's the thing that the Sparrow rode before. Now they're common enemies. I'm not joking. If you've never played this game before, this might come as a surprise, but yes. But as you can see, they're much weaker than the one the Sparrow rode. Or maybe we're stronger. You can also try using the flechettes on them to sometimes productive results. But try not to get hit by their flames, because they do quite a bit of damage. If you want, you can just literally run circles around them, and that gets rid of them quite quickly. Took a bit of damage for that encounter, but it was all worth it because we wanted to kill all the serpents. So you can grab this quartz flask. When you grab the quartz flask, this room turns dark, and these areas open up, which leads to this place. Let's grab this blue mana too. We'll need it for later. Let's also go up here to go into our second portal, which leads into the first non-hub level, which I believe is the Guardian of Ice. And immediately you're greeted by Etten. And not only that, there are more in here. So let's give them a taste of that flechette. There are more here if you need them. What you can try to do is just run around in circles and get them to run into it, because while these Etten are quite mean, they aren't that smart. And it does a great job at softening them up. Here's an Amulet of Warding. It gives us a bit of armor, but not a lot. Now when you flip the switch, several of these crushers will appear. The thing you want to do is go into the one that has the sword pointing at it, because the other ones will kill you, like instantly. Now when you do that, you'll be sent back to the hub. But this area opens up. Another area opens up too. We'll check that out in a little bit. But in the meantime, we're gonna club these guys to death. Flip this switch and we'll meet another serpent coming out of his hidey hole. If you're careful, you can just literally run circles around him. Club this dude to death too. Very important. Now there's another portal here, but we'll get to it in a little bit. First though, we want to check this place out. And that's what happens when you go into the quartz flask or the flechette clouds. You also take damage over time too, so I don't recommend it, but I showed you it just because it's quite formidable. But anyways, sometimes Etten will spawn in to make your life a bit more miserable, but whatever, it's fine. we can just club these guys to death, as we did with the other Etten. We'll grab these quartz flasks too, and check this portal out. We'll get to it later, but first, we gotta go to this one. There's something we need to get from this portal in particular, and I'll show you what it is. So this is the Guardian of Steel. Another map which is actually quite infamous. You might see why in the coming few minutes or so. You'll also be introduced to the centaurs here. These guys are quite vulnerable to the flechette clouds, because they just get stunned there because they're slow moving. But the thing about the centaurs is they'll block your second attack sometimes. And when you have a ranged weapon, they'll deflect the attack. So the flechettes are rather good against them, especially since they're really good at stunning them. If you're careful, you can avoid the gas clouds in narrow areas like this, but sometimes you can't, so keep that in mind. Let's see if we can get these guys to come out here. Probably not. I guess not, but that's fine. Because we got plenty of quartz flasks. We'll just tank it. And also grab these other crystal vials up here. And use the flechettes on these guys. We'll just let them get poisoned as we flip this switch. It'll be useful for later. And we'll also kill these guys in this area. Give them the old club to death strategy. Same with this guy down here. He's guarding a flechette. Let's grab that real quick. Thank you very much. And now we can go into this area, but watch out, there's a centaur right here. You can just stun them and poison them with the flechette. And same with this one right here. And you can club the Ettins to death while you wait for the centaur to die. Yeah, I told you this was quite useful against these guys. And it's also useful for when these guys get stupid and start infighting with each other. And of course there are more here, so let's get rid of them. Yeah, you stay there, buddy. Okay, so now we've cleared out most of this area. We can grab this crystal vial and check this place out. Might as well clear it out in advance. So we can kill this Etten down here, because this place is kind of symmetrical. And get another flechette. We don't want to flip that switch just yet, and I'll show you why. But first, we want to open this door. But watch out, there's a serpent here. Let's just tank him. Could have gone better. But could have gone worse. Now we're going to go down this lift and start fighting this guy. And then go into this area. Now the thing about this area, it only opens when you use the right switch up there. Yeah, the one we flipped earlier when we first went up that stairway to the right. It opens this area to the left. And you want to go over here so you can grab the serpent staff and also solve 1/3 of the puzzle on the 7 portals. Yeah, it's very cryptic, but it'll all make sense later on. As you can see, this area is blocked off, but I'll show you how to get to it in a little bit. So the serpent staff is really useful when you're very close to an enemy. You can use it to suck the life energy out of them, but it doesn't work too well in the centaurs, so let's just use the flechette on them. Now let's go over kill this dude real quick. Oh, he just died like that. Whatever. Let's go here. Open this door up and finally flip the switch. Flipping the switch finally. Yanking that chain even. Will allow you to go back down here and go into this area. I'll suck the Ettins dry. And also grab this fairly obscure quartz flask. Also, as you can see, this area is closed off because we flipped the switch over there. But this area is open now, so let's grab the mesh armor, flip this switch, and solve another third of the puzzle on the 7 portals. Wonderful. So now we're just going to go up the lift, open this area, and make our way back into the main hub. And we'll be back there in the future. But for now, we're going to clear up this area just a little bit, and then make our way into this part. You want to watch out because these efforts will come after you, and this area is full of lava, but the lava floor will raise up, so it'll allow you to go up here easier. You can grab the Falcon Shield, and I recommend you do, especially if you're the Cleric, because it's probably one of the best armors for the Cleric. And just use whatever means you deem fit to get rid of all these Ettin. Also flip the switch. 1/3 of the puzzle has been solved. Wonderful. That must be all thirds of the puzzle. But let's figure that out later. In the meantime, we're just gonna kill all these guys. Alright, now they're all dead. We can open this area up and go through it. What you want to do is kill the Ettin across this bridge. And then run like hell across it. Because it starts to collapse after you run into this area. But thankfully, you aren't shaking around, it's just a screen that's shaking. You want to flip the switch over here, then do another jump to grab the flame mask. That'll be useful for later. Then jump back, kill any afrits that block your path, and then you can make your way out. And probably not dawdle in the lava. Okay, so now we've gotten that part straightened out, we're going to go into here and start killing some more guys. And preferably not get hit in the face by several Chaos Serpent projectiles, right? Well, that's fine. We can just suck the life force out of these guys. So let's do that, and let's get rid of all these Chaos Serpents. Especially these ones. And you, buddy. Let's also grab these quartz flasks and be introduced to a new enemy. A very painful enemy to fight. These are Wendigos. And, you remember the Iron Lich projectiles in Heretic? The, Frost projectiles? These guys shoot 2 of them. Enough said. So let's kill all these guys. Yeah, they have shards too. It's sad. And really annoying. But to make sure we don't freaking die here, we're gonna suck more energy from these Ettins. Since enemies like to respawn, might as well do that. And double check for more ammo and pickups we can use. Because anything will be mighty useful in dealing with these guys. Now we picked up everything in here, so we'll figure it out. Might have to use the quartz flasks here too. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Also, watch out for these bright areas, because if you stay on them for too long, like a second too long, you'll die because you'll get crushed by them. But when you activate them once, That's it. You don't have to worry about them. You can just run right past them. And they're permanently activated. Thank goodness. Here's another guy that'll cause some problems if you aren't prepared for him. Let's use some quartz flasks too, because this is getting really evil. Alright, like the last area, there are some crushers here. Let's just avoid them entirely and grab these crystal vials. And look, there are more quartz flasks here. And there's a portal here too, so let's go through it. And here we are, back in the Guardian of Ice again. Now, I think this is a good part to end the video in, so stay tuned for our next one where we continue our adventures in the 7 portals. But until then, toodaloo.